And we're back as testimony in Donald Trump's hush money case has just wrapped up for the day. What a wild day. The prosecution has rested. Michael Cohen, under defense questioning, admitted to stealing $60,000 from the Trump organization, or at least from Mr. Trump personally. Let's bring in retired California Superior Court Judge Ladoris Hazard Cordell. She's also the author of Her Honor, which, by the way, sounds like a great TV show. I hope somebody picks that up and you get a streaming series on Max. Judge, Trump's legal team finished its cross-examination of Michael Cohen. They sought to undermine his credibility even further. Today, Cohen admitted to larceny, to stealing thousands of dollars, $60,000 from the Trump organization, an actual worse crime, although he's not been charged with it, than the misdemeanor felony that Trump has been charged with. What is your reaction to what we've heard from Cohen?
Before I can answer that, I just have to tell you, Jake, the trials and tribulations of a trial court judge. And as you lamented today, it's so sad that we don't have video of what happened in the courtroom. And I still don't understand, even without video, because we want to protect the jurors' identities, why there isn't audio streaming so people could actually hear what people are saying.
Amen.
With regard to the testimony of Michael Cohen, you know, the media is all, this is a bombshell. It's not a bombshell because the jury has already heard him testify that he took money he shouldn't have taken. What happened today is that the defense put a name on it and said, you stole, you actually committed larceny. And he says, yeah, okay, I did, I stole it. So what is portrayed in the media is not what the jurors are ever going to see if they're following the judge's instructions not to look at any stories on TV or read anything about this. It's another piece of information for them to consider.
Yeah, and look,
what was most
go
shocking,
ahead, keep going.
Go ahead.
No, please, keep going.
What was most shocking was the testimony of this last witness, this lawyer who had the audacity to make a comment about the judge's ruling on an objection, and then to try to stare down the judge. And I will tell you, I really admire how the judge handled it, which was, you don't stare me down, and you better get it together. And this is a lawyer. So did he help the defense? Because I think the defense, after they had finished before this witness, they're about ready to pop the champagne corks. And it's like, no. And I don't think this witness really helped the defense at all. My guess, they called this witness because maybe their client wanted them to do that because he really didn't add anything and really created more of a problem than a help.
One of the things going on right now in the courtroom is because obviously the defense is making a motion to dismiss all the charges. Blanche says when Trump signed the checks for Cohen in the White House mailed over from Trump Tower in New York, quote, there's no evidence that there's any idea or any intent to mislead or to hide or to falsify the business records. Blanche also argues there's no evidence of another crime being covered up in connection to the false business filings, which is how this goes from a misdemeanor to a felony. There's no evidence, zero, that anyone was thinking about a campaign finance charge in 2016 when this payment was made to Ms. Daniels. Blanche now says, how is keeping a false story from the voters criminal, referencing the other story about the fake story about the kid that Trump had that wasn't, it's not a true story. He said, that's not a catch and kill, Your Honor. It's certainly not criminal catch and kill. So anyway, that's still going on. And I don't know anybody who thinks that Judge Merchan is going to just dismiss the charges. But Blanche is saying there's no way that the court should let this case go to the jury relying on Mr. Cohen's testimony. And without Mr. Cohen, there is no case. What do you make of that? I know it's standard procedure for the defense attorney to say this, but what do you think of the case he's making here, that there's no way that the judge should let this even go to the jury based on Mr. Cohen?
Right. I disagree that this is a routine thing that all defense attorneys do. This is really what we call a directed verdict, saying, Judge, all of the evidence is in now, and they have not, the prosecution have not proved each element of the offenses that Trump is charged with beyond a reasonable doubt. And the key in this case is Trump's intent. If there is a connection, did he intend that this payment that these falsified records that be to assist in the commission of another crime, and that is with regard to interfering with the election. So this is not just routine, and I do think they have a point to make. They are saying that the prosecution didn't connect all of the dots that get them to Trump, and it is reasonable for the judge to seriously consider this. This isn't just kind of thrown up there just to make a record. I do not believe that the judge will grant this request, meaning we're going to take it away from the jury. Here are all the facts, and even if I find all of the facts here to be a certain way, they don't amount to a crime, I'm just going to dismiss it and not take up the jury's time. That's what they're asking.
Yeah.
Rarely does a judge grant a directed verdict, but it has happened sometimes. I do not believe it will happen in this instance. I think this is a matter for the jurors because they're fact finders, and then to determine, do the facts comport with the elements of the crime? And if so, find it beyond a reasonable doubt. So
Blanche, the defense attorney is arguing there's no conspiratorial intent that makes this misdemeanor of falsifying business records a felony to hide because of hiding information from voters, because the payment to Stormy Daniels, he says, was not part of any catch and kill scheme. AMI, the tabloid empire, wanted nothing to do with it. And Michael Cohen is not a media company, he argues. Mershon jumps in and says to the defense attorney, so you're asking me to find Michael Cohen not credible as a matter of law? And Todd Blanche says yes. And Judge Mershon says, okay. Judge Mershon asks again, you want me to take it out of the jury's hands and decide before it even gets to the jury that as a matter of law, this person is so not worthy of belief? Mershon asks again. Blanche says, we didn't just catch him in a lie, Your Honor. He came in with a history of lying. So again, he is probing, as you are suggesting he should do, Judge Mershon, as to what exactly the defense is asking here for. Blanche says he testified and he lied under oath in this courtroom. The consequences of that lie, if accepted by the jury, is a conviction. What do you think? What do you think you would do here?
So the defense is making exactly the argument they should make. And Judge Mershon has asked the question, you're asking me to determine the credibility of Michael Cohen, which ordinarily should go to the jury. That's the
exactly. Let me interrupt for 1 second, Your Honor. I apologize.
Sure.
He's saying exactly what you're like. Literally, as the moment you're saying it, it's coming in. He says, "You said this is the judge now. You said his lies are irrefutable, but you think he's going to fool 12 New Yorkers." So he's saying we should, like, if it's so bad, let's let the jury slap it down.
Exactly. So that's an indication that Judge Mershon is not going to take this away from the jurors. And they're going to say, leave it to them to determine Michael Cohen's credibility. In addition, in determining the credibility, the jurors are also going to look at all the paper trail, the documents, follow the money. So all of that, it isn't just he was here in the witness stand and no one should believe him. There's more information that was produced, evidence produced at this trial that can determine the credibility of all of the witnesses. One big problem the defense has when they get to closing arguments, they have denied there was ever an affair between Trump and Stormy Daniels. They've just said it didn't happen. If the jury believes Stormy Daniels, the defense has a problem. They can't back down at all. So if she's credible, then it is credible to believe then that there was the hush money payment and that Trump was a part of it. So Donald Trump, by denying that this affair existed, has really painted them into a corner. And I think that's problematic in the end.
All right, Judge Ladoris Hazard Cordell, author of Her Honor. That was really fun. That was really fun talking to you all. Exactly, the Judge Mershon was taking in and saying pretty much everything that you said, except a minute later. Thank you so much for being with us. Let me bring in